from the Grenadian capital, this is the GBN television news. GBN, covering you from the Grenadine Island chain to Brooklyn, New York, via the World Wide Web on www.gbn.gd.
The news headlines is brought to you compliments GUT Credit Union.
We are taking pride in outstanding performance. We are encouraging and recognizing innovation. We are committed to continuously doing things better, with enhanced services coming soon. Yes, we are here for you. Check us out today for your financial need. GUT Credit Union, it's where you belong.
This is the GBN television news for today, Thursday, March 25th, 2021. I'm Beverly Telesford. In the headlines, a young man hospitalized after stabbing incident in Grenville. The Ministry of Health embarks on public health outreach program within communities. Education Minister expresses difficulty accepting deliberate rejection of principal leadership. GUT President Marvin Arnold joins us with his response. In tonight's GBN Health, we look back on the anniversary of COVID-19 in Grenada and its impacts. Coming up in Around the Globe, Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister urges citizens to get vaccinated, and Ontario migrant farmers protesting new COVID-19 rules. Coming up in sports, Grenada squares off with El Salvador in CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers from 10:25 tonight, and St. Lucia football players stage protest action over their failure to participate in the World Cup qualifiers. Details after this message.
Get high making money moves with the NLA's new Aces High Scratch game with 4 chances to win. Beat the dealer's card to win the prize shown. Reveal an A symbol. And just like that, you are automatically a winner. Scratch away to win the top prize of $10,000. Win easy with Scratch. Must be 18 or older to play.
Good evening to our viewers and listeners on K105. This is GBN News at 7. One young man is hospitalized at the General Hospital after a stabbing incident in Grenville on Thursday. Police confirmed that there was a stabbing, but deny rumors that one of the boys died. Details surrounding the incident remain sketchy at this time. However, GBN will continue to follow this story and bring you an update at another newscast. Education Minister Emmeline Pear addressed the ongoing series of industrial action taken by teachers and other public officers on the directive of the Grenada Union of Teachers and the Public Workers Union during her national address on Wednesday. She says government intends to honor its last proposed on or before December 31st date, pushed back due to the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic.
The Education Minister says it is difficult for the Ministry of Education to accept the deliberate rejection of principal leadership and disregard for the established procedures for the resolving of disputes as she addressed public officers' ongoing protests against government's non-payment of their 4% salary increase, which was due in January this year.
When teachers leave the classes unattended to participate in union activities for which no permission was sought, and thus putting hundreds of children at risk, the Ministry of Education must act expeditiously or risk being seen as having abdicated its responsibility to effectively manage the education system.
On Wednesday, Minister Pear delivered an official address to the nation, during which she pleaded with the teachers clamoring for their 4% salary increase to be patient in receiving what is due to them, citing that government has been transparent in its response to the situation.
The 4% salary increases lies at the center of the spate of recent protest actions. The government of Grenada, as an employer, has been transparent in its response to the situation at hand. Government has made it clear to the Grenada Union of Teachers that as a result of the significant drop in revenue due to the impact of COVID-19, it is unable to meet its commitment in a timely manner. The government's negotiating team further advised that the government would make every effort to make good on its commitment on or before December 31st this year, once the financial situation improves sufficiently.
She implored teachers to take the time to improve on the current status of the education system, as some parts have shown depletion, saying it will require dedication and commitment and the collaboration of the teachers and the ministry.
Before COVID-19, an assessment coordinated by the OECS Commission revealed that in Grenada, about 60% of our grade 2 students were reading below the grade 1 level. So at this time, we are dealing with both pre-COVID and COVID-related challenges of learning disparities and deficiencies.
The minister said from 2013 to 2020, an excess of $130 million has been paid in salary increases only, and government did not even consider withdrawing 2020 increases on the onset of the pandemic here in Grenada.
Despite these challenges, government is committed to continue paying various fringe benefits to teachers, which include incentive allowance, inducement allowance, responsibility allowance, acting allowance, seniority allowance, 50% concession on purchase of vehicles for all principals, and 50% concession for all teachers serving more than 15 years. 50% health insurance premium for all teachers, with an extra contribution to their family plan. In the face of all this, is it really unreasonable to ask that due consideration be given to the unforeseen events surrounding COVID-19 and the implications that government must manage? Is it reasonable to conclude that the government as an employer has done what is necessary to insulate its workforce by protecting public service jobs?
In her national address Wednesday night, Education Minister Emmeline Pear said it is difficult for the Ministry of Education to accept the deliberate rejection of principled leadership and the utter disregard for the established procedures that make the resolving of disputes. Well, tonight we have the leader and president of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Marvin Andal, our guest. Welcome, sir.
A pleasant good evening to you and to your viewers.
And thank you for joining us. What is your response to the address delivered?
To fully make sense of the minister's address, one has to be aware as to what is the objective of the address. If the objective of the address was to create a path towards a resolution of the current dispute, then the address would have failed as far as that is concerned. But if it was geared at aggravating and further adding fuel to the fire, then it would have made its mark in that regard.
All right, Minister Pear stated that before COVID-19, an assessment coordinated by the OECS Commission revealed that in Grenada, about 60% of our grade 2 students were reading below the grade 1 level. So at this time, she says we are dealing with both pre-COVID and COVID-related challenges of learning disparities and deficiencies. A very loaded statement, Mr. Andal. Is there some form of justification for it?
It may be, but at this point, how is that related to the matter before us? Before us, we have a signed agreement for a 4% increase that was due since January. The government on its own took a deferral. Now, this other survey that was done, the results of it does not relate to the matter at hand. So I find it unusual and out of place to be presented at this particular time when addressing the issue of the current 4%.
And she also said, and I quote, "In the face of all of this, is it really unreasonable to ask that due consideration be given to the unforeseen events surrounding COVID-19 and the implications that the government must manage?" Unquote. Mr. Andel, is it unreasonable?
The fact is, the government has not been conducting its affairs as though we are facing a financial crisis. We can look at what the government is spending and proposing to spend on. It seems to be in a position to be able to afford all other things apart from the mere 4% increase that public officers are entitled to. The other matter is the degree of uncertainty, and that narrative is continued in the minister's address, that they will pay in December if the financial situation allows. Therefore, there is no certainty that when December comes, the government wouldn't say that the government, there's a possibility that December can come and the government would just say that it is not in a position to pay. The financial situation doesn't allow. And what do we do then? So what workers need is to have a reasonable time frame, because the government on its own took a deferral, and what is being proposed is at the end of this month, let us look at the figures and look at the earliest possible time. That I find is a reasonable ask by the unions. The matter is before the Labour Commissioner, but it seems that part of the dispute resolution mechanism would not be able to bring a resolution, because it seems that the government has predetermined that it would not resolve the matter in an amicable way, that there would be no compromise. And I find this rather unfortunate.
All right. The minister said officials met on Wednesday with the union to further discuss these concerns. Can you share with us the outcome of Wednesday's meeting with government and any indication if students will return to school after the Easter break back to normalcy?
The dispute has not been resolved, and the likelihood of industrial action is imminent once we cannot find a solution. Let us hope that the engagement that will come in the next few days can find a solution. If not, then it's inevitable that there will be industrial action.
All right. Well, at this point, I would just like to thank you, President of the Grenada Union of Teachers, Marvin Andel. Good night.
Good night.
President of the Technical and Allied Workers Union and the Grenada Trade Union Movement, Andrew Lewis, believes government is only adding fuel to the fire as the industrial climate heats up. Karina Pear has more in this report.
President of the Technical and Allied Workers Union, Andrew Lewis, says that the current industrial climate in the country is intense and will continue on this path until both parties meet a common understanding. The trade unionist believes that the recent action of government officials will only add fuel to the fire, as public workers have the right to stand up for what belongs to them.
I am confident that we shall win. And I use win here loosely in the context that a pathway must be found. And the employees, the workers, have all legitimate right to engage in any form of industrial struggle. And I will leave that to the individual organizations and the wider labor movement to decide at any time what is the best form of protest to take.
According to Lewis, the action of public workers is not to harm students, parents, or anyone else. He said despite their engaging in industrial action, public workers have always been willing to sit with government to find a solution to the problem, but in a fair and respectful manner.
In the interest of the nation, it is urgently needed for this matter to be resolved. We have demonstrated, the teachers have demonstrated their willingness for engagement. They have asked certain questions of the administration and they are yet to get their response. Because it is highly likely that if there is an honest and genuine response, it may not be in the interest of the government.
The president was speaking on GBN's To The Point program on Thursday. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear reporting.
This is News at 7. Coming up, the Ministry of Health embarks on public health outreach program within communities. Stay with us.
Need a quick, convenient way to pay your bills and avoid lines? Use the online banking feature from Republic Bank, First Caribbean, or Co-op Bank. Contact them today to set up your online banking and enjoy 24-hour convenience to make your bill payments. Stay safe. Grenlec, we are united even when we are apart.
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here, even when the future seems unclear. Because one thing is certain, you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Man, a real madman. Sunday, March 28th from 6 p.m. We're kicking off another massive Waggity Virtual Bingo as the March Madness deals continue. And this time, you can win $10,000 US. What? Yes, $10,000 US. And tickets are only $8 US. Hold up, $8 US? I tell all your waggy gone mad. In Grenada, tickets are available at gotofed.com or from numerous box offices island-wide and our main office on Brew Street Mall. If you're overseas, tickets are only available at gotofed.com. Sunday, March 28th, join the madness and enjoy all the fun and excitement online. Play Waggity Virtual Bingo, the new way to play bingo.
How going on, boy?
Hey, good old things.
Hey, easy.
Yeah.
Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day.
Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service.
Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy.
Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
My name is Owen Smith, former captain of Grenada national team. At the moment, we're in training and the training is very wonderful. While football was my break, I've been doing a lot of workout just to keep fit because we know that definitely that's the time would have reached to come back together as a team and I'll be fit just to fall in together with the team. The guys are very excited knowing that we're going to the Gold Cup. They are very happy to be outside here. Every session is just a different level of them. The national team is ready. Come out and support us 100%.
Residences, a modern, exclusive residential community offered by Ariza. Purchase one of our completely built houses or let us build for you by simply choosing your lot, choosing your home design from our selection, and let us do the rest. Owning a home does not have to be a frustrating process. Information, contact Ariza Credit Union on 415-0994 or send us an email on info@ridgewayresidences.gd. Ridgeway Residences, hassle-free home ownership.
Running low on on groceries? Why not visit realvalueiga.com and experience our new online shopping platform? Place your order, then go out and enjoy your day to spend more time with friends and family. Delivery available within select locations or in-store pickup available. Sounds simple, right? It is. Stress less, live more with Real Value IGA online store, where good food begins.
GBN leads, the others follow. This segment is brought to you by Republic Bank.
There's a reason we have been here to serve you for the past 40 years. A reason we have continued to grow. A reason we have continued to celebrate. That reason is you. We have been here to help you plan for your future and here to help you celebrate your achievements. We continue to be here, even when the future seems unclear. Because one thing is certain, you're the reason we care.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Welcome back. Shantimel resident Rodney Bucky Nichols was safely found on Wednesday evening. Community residents, family, and friends staged a candlelight vigil last evening to give God thanks for Bucky's safety. GBN's Trelawna Charles spoke to Mrs. Nichols about her husband's return.
God is good all the time.
The community of Shantimel erupted in prayer and song Wednesday night as they celebrated the recovery of Rodney Bucky Nichols, who went missing on Friday, 18th March. The police issued a notice that Nichols was found in the mountainous area of Victoria St. Mark, then taken to seek medical attention. The wife of Mr. Nichols, Sandra Nichols, spoke to GBN about her husband. She said he is still being given medical care.
They're doing a check-up on him now. We went to Mongi, and then afterwards they bring him down to, anyway, that's in Mongi up there, but we came out in Princess Alice Hospital first, and then they bring him there to give him an observation. So I just came from there, but he cannot come out as yet.
She said her husband is in good physical health and they await the completion of his observations so that he can return home.
He talked to me and thing, you know. Yeah, he talked to me. He said when he was out in the bush, he was praying and fasting and was drinking water and those kind of things. He said he's okay, but they have to keep him still to do an observation.
Residents say that Nichols being found is only the first step, as they are still seeking justice in the court for multiple ongoing matters.
The prayer does not end, because we still need to pray that Bucky and his wife, who is not here with us tonight, going to be in sound mind, sound spirit, and sound body. And he, Bucky, would be able to speak the truth to the law enforcement officers as it is. We are seeking justice in this matter, and justice must be found in this matter.
Trelawna Charles, GBN News.
It has been a whirlwind year for Grenada since the announcement of the first case of COVID-19. None could have anticipated what was to come following the announcement of patient zero. The one-year anniversary was brought into focus during the Beyond the Headlines program on Monday night from a financial and social perspective.
When you need your prescription filled or you require non-prescribed medication, supplements, or all your personal needs, visit Gittins Healthcare at locations on Wall Street, Grand Anse, Victoria Street, Glenwood, and Central Deputy Street, Wharf. Gittins Healthcare aims to provide an exceptional personalized pharmacy experience. Additionally, children under 5 and adults 55 years and over will enjoy 10% discount on purchases of $20 and over on prescription medication. Stop settling for less. Visit Gittins Healthcare, where your health is our priority.
a milestone that many Grenadians may be willing to forget, as some are yet to recover financially and otherwise. Grenadians continue to feel the economic pinch with continued loss of jobs, inflation, and a rise in the cost of living. However, according to Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Mike Sylvester, there has been a significant reduction in unemployment levels. Sylvester says unemployment dropped from 28.4% in the second quarter of 2020 to 18.5% by the fourth quarter in 2020. He says this equates to around 12,000 jobs regained.
If you look at the numbers, you're talking about jobs in construction, you have wholesale and retail, you have a number of those areas contributing to the job. Of course, we know that tourism, most of the hotels remain closed or partially open, if you want to call it that. So you don't have the same level of recovery there. But if you look around construction, for instance, you drive in some of those wholesale and retail and some of the other sectors.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Social Development, Chrissy Warm-Charles, reflecting on the past year, says the economic crisis bred what they called a silent pandemic. She says domestic violence cases were rampant during various periods of the year.
At that point in time, they were not able to speak out about their experiences. And we had a burgeoning of persons accessing support. Because here it is, we had persons who normally would have had their jobs and so forth, and now they were on the breadline. So a lot of persons, they were clamoring for support, for grocery support, for rental support, for a lot of their physiological needs.
Wamja says they have had to make interventions for the elderly and address potential suicide cases, among other issues.
We have to also recognize that mental health, I said it before, is so very important. The way in which we process our information, and the way in which we respond to it's very important that at least, we have, persons functioning well and recognizing when they have gaps.
Monday, March 22nd, was the official anniversary of COVID-19 in Grenada. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
That was GBN Health compliments Gittins Healthcare. The Ministry of Health has embarked on its public health outreach program within communities to bring healthcare closer to the people. These health services cater to both males and females free of cost. Details in this report.
Quite a slow turnout of persons observed on Thursday morning as the Ministry of Health hosted its fourth public health outreach program, this time in Pedmota, St. David. The range of basic services provided included blood pressure and blood sugar screenings, BMI and dental checks, COVID-19 vaccines administration upon request, however, and cancer screening offered free of charge to members of the public. Communications Officer in the Ministry of Health, Kevin Frederick, says it's a strategy geared towards meeting people where they are. It also coincides with this year's vaccination week in the Americas.
One of the main objectives for introducing the vaccine at that level. Now, remember, we would have done a survey, right? And based on our survey, we saw that the senior people in our community, and those who are burdened by underlying conditions, they were all up for taking the vaccine. So there was no better way to meet them in their comfort zone, and so that's why we actually went out there, make it comfortable for them, and they all access the services that we were actually providing.
The program was already rolled out in Gaul, Victoria, and other parts of St. David. Frederick speaks of the turnout and people's reaction to taking the vaccine now that it is brought to them.
Well, we had an impressive turnout, and as I said, it's not the first, but, Ingwa was very impressive. We saw persons from different backgrounds and so on, and that was, a very good start for Guav. Bear in mind that we are still vaccinating at the various health centers. So what happened in Guav was just like, somewhat bumping up what we are accustomed doing. In St. Mark too, St. Mark was impressive as well. We saw quite a number of persons, coming from St. Mark.
Army Healthcare team of the St. David Health District facilitated the clinic. Clinics will continue in the coming weeks in other parishes, inclusive of Carriacou and Petit Martinique. Christelina John, GBN News.
And now we turn our attention to what has been creating a buzz on social media. Trelana Charles has been looking around the platforms.
This is Social Buzz, where we shine a light on the thoughts and concerns of our online audience.
Tuesday night, Minister of Education, Honorable Emmeline Pear, addressed the nation about the protest action taken by public workers on Tuesday.
When teachers leave the classes unattended to participate in union activities for which no permission was sought, and thus putting hundreds of children at risk, the Ministry of Education must act expeditiously or risk being seen as having abdicated its responsibility to effectively manage the education system.
Tonight we listen to the opinions of our online and listening audience as they discuss the minister's statements.
Government, pay them the 4%. Let them stop the quarreling. Let them stop the begging. They are not beggars. They are human like everyone else.
Are they going to fire all teachers? She said they'll be dealt with expeditiously.
What is lacking is leadership, real leadership. The speech by the Minister of Education, as the first caller said, it has nothing to the same.
It was not necessary. Some things are better left alone, especially when their words don't match their actions. Every day you hear of more money being committed to projects that could wait in light of the present situation.
Them politicians lying for the people so much that we can't trust them no more.
Minister Pear, mass no start. You push the wood below the pot. All public officers close down office and hit the road. But Minister Pear, nothing all you do will stop the struggle. Says, let the minister know that it is government's constitutional duty to pay public workers their salary. They are not doing them a favor.
We are provoking the citizens. We are fighting the citizens. And I'm not talking politics, because I'm talking long enough saying the same thing. I am saying to the government, you have to settle this matter. If you don't settle this matter, we go into chaos.
Since when unions have to seek permission to protest, what language did the minister speak? Honestly, she said nothing last night. Seems like the minister and her comrades are on a mission to silence teachers and workers on a whole, but joke they making.
The same Prime Minister forced Herbert Blaise to pay the same teachers the money. And you know, after Mr. Blaise paid the money, him die after.
Minister Pear just talking with the width of her mouth when public servants sit there and see all these monies being spent for other things long after the agreement was signed. We see this as total arrogance and disrespect. Millions for Grenlec, millions for airport. The talk is out about some plane that was hired to go to Carriacou for Minister Nimrod's funeral. Come on, man, government, have a heart.
That's it for tonight's Social Buzz. If you would like to have your thoughts and concerns shared, be sure to comment on GBN's Facebook page.
From the thought process to the visual impact, it's time to take a peek through the GBN ISOL lens.
A good eye captures all. GBN ISOL is brought to you by Clear Vision.
You know us, but we knew. You feel at home with every visit. An experienced team offering personalized courtier service and trendy brand name lifestyle products. We're changing the vision care landscape one customer at a time. Clear Vision Eye Center. People and technology coming together to help you see the world with a clearer vision.
In tonight's ISOL, we feature the EC Polymer $5 note, which is projected to be released by the end of this month. The ECCB launched its family of EC Polymer notes in May 2019. So far, the new $50, $100, $20, and $10 bills have since been issued. The release of the $5 note, which was initially projected for September 2020, had been delayed due to a decrease in demand for the note. Send us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp on 405-3052 or our other social media platforms. Still ahead, students of the St. George's Seventh-day Adventist School focused on a day of reading. This is News at 7. Stay with us.
FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Grenada versus the U.S. Virgin Islands at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium. Your Spice Boys are back in action. Tuesday, 30th March. Game time, 7 p.m. sharp. With no fans in the stands.
No fans? Well, we're making our own party.
We're broadcasting live on Flow Grenada, channels 1000 and 1001.
And I'll be streaming that on my big screen TV, cooking up Pato Island.
Call Flow today to add your channel for only $20.
Well, it's mass with me and my family.
That's right. Support your 3-time Gold Cup qualifier, Team Grenada. For more info, call or WhatsApp 473-535-2090 or 440-9903. Sponsored by Glenelg Spring Water, Flow, and the Grenada Cooperative Bank.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
You want a hand sanitizer to do 3 things: kill germs, be gentle, and to go where you go. You can get all of that in our hand sanitizer. Hard on germs, gentle on hands, affordable. Remember, hand sanitizers contain alcohol. Keep away from heat and flames and avoid contact with eyes. Available at retailers island-wide.
A message by the Grenada Distillers Limited.
Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
My name is Jamal Ray Charles. I play centre forward for the national team. Being back in training is very good. I've been working hard. During the pandemic, I've been doing my personal work. I've been doing a lot of beach runs, and I've been training home also ball work with my little brother. I've been prepared for this moment. Right now in training, the players are hungry. I can tell you the aggression, whatever the coach have to offer to us, they consume it, the information, and the training is very, very great. Well, the World Cup qualifiers is a big accomplishment for us. The players are working hard, so I think the players home and abroad, we want to win, so I guess the mentality we have right now is to go and do our best, and we can put on a good job. I would like the nation to believe in us and support us, don't give up on us. We have been doing a good job in training. Just believe in us and have faith, we'll get there.
Welcome back. Students from the kindergarten to grade 6 levels were all put to the reading test on Thursday. In a world where devices and other gadgets seem to be the norm, Principal of the St. George's Seventh-day Adventist School, Mrs. Jacqueline Noel, reminds her students that reading is a fundamental aspect of learning and development. According to the principal, every year they concentrate on a different aspect of reading. The students read fables that were illustrated by other students from their respective classes.
We had a closing exercise for the Hillary term. We usually make it a reading exercise because we want to emphasize reading and how important and how interesting and how fun reading can be. These days our children are all for devices, especially with the coming of the COVID. Everybody is the phone and the tablet and the television. But we know as growing up that reading was great fun because that's what we had. And so we want to instill in our boys and girls.
Here's what the students thought about the exercise.
I like about reading that I could pronounce the word, and reading is also fun, so I like reading when I'm bored, and I like reading all the time because I read all the time.
I prefer gadgets, but books are good as well. In the evening, I read from 6 o'clock until I fall asleep, which is like around 8. And I would say I enjoy it because there's a lot of fun books to read, and you could learn a lot of new words from them and, you know, build your vocabulary and stuff.
In an effort to increase production and assist farmers who have experienced reduced levels of production, the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Forestry recently hosted a training session on yam production. Training reporter Anaya Clement Haynes has the details.
More than 50 participants, farmers, and extension officers were engaged by resource persons from the ministry during this session held on the farm holdings of Victor de Gill and Bernice Frederick. Extension assistant attached to the Eastern District, Prince Matthew, who provides support to farmers in the area, said that the training was necessary because of complaints received from the farmers in the area who work with yams. He said many of them have expressed that they have issues with nematodes and anthracnodes, which have affected their production. The training is part of the ongoing capacity building and acknowledged sharing ventures initiated by the Minister of Agriculture to support and encourage farmers to use recommended techniques. The ministry's team demonstrated a number of important agronomic techniques such as mini-setting, a method that allows the rapid multiplication of seed yam and increased production of the crop, propagation of the crop, selection of planting materials, land preparation, crop rotation, fertilization and nutrition, pest and disease management, and other agricultural practices, all with the aim of providing crop management, reducing losses, and increasing production. The ministry identifies the month of May as the optimum planting season for yams and will make available a wide variety of the tubers for sale during the annual plant distribution season. Technical guides were also shared with participants to assist farmers from the propagation to marketing stages of the crop. This is trainee reporter Anaya Clement for GBN News.
Stay with us for the weather and sports.
We support you at every stage of your life.
For business,
for your education,
For your financial freedom.
for that new ride.
Upgrade your life with the Communal. Contact us today.
Do you know what time it is? You guessed right, it's detox time again. At Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center and Natural Health Store. Purchase our 7-day cleansing pack for only $500. Includes everything you need for a complete total body cleanse. Cleanse your blood, kidney, liver, and colon. This cleanse will help you lighten up and get rid of the excess. Also available are our special product Detox Combo Pack for only $100. Try our single detox products starting from $40. Check us out now. Belmont St. George's, close to the Fall Edge area, or call us on 231-6642, 449-7753, or 418-7115. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. Detox, your way to health.
Benjamin Etienne. My name is Trishan Thomas.
My name is Christian James.
My position is centre forward, play central midfield, and I play right back for the Grenada men's senior team. I would like to urge every Grenadian to support the Grenada national team on 30th of March
in our first home game against USVI in the World Cup qualifiers. They are not able to join us at the Grenada National Stadium.
But you can watch our live match on Flow Pay-Per-View, channels 1000, 1001. Support Team Grenada.
Support Team Grenada. 473.
Keeping an eye on the weather. This is GBN. We've got you covered.
Weather for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique valid for tonight and the following 3 days. Weather tonight generally fair at first, increasing in cloudiness overnight, with few brief to widely scattered showers. Tonight's minimum temperature 24.5 degrees Celsius. Winds east-northeasterly to easterly at 8 to 18 miles per hour. Seas moderate, waves 4 to 6 feet in open waters. Tides high at 1:45 a.m. and low at 7:45 a.m. Weather for Friday, March 26th, partly cloudy and breezy morning, with few brief showers, becoming generally fair during the afternoon, increasing in cloudiness overnight, with few brief to widely scattered showers. Weather for Saturday, partly cloudy to cloudy and windy, with few brief to widely scattered showers. And weather for Sunday, March 28th, generally cloudy and windy, with some widely scattered showers. Good evening, sporting fans. Grenada continues its talismanic run in its attempt to qualify for World Cup 2022 in Qatar. The Spice Boys tonight plays El Salvador in the preliminary round of the CONCACAF qualifiers in El Salvador in what is a home and away matchup. They play out of Group A, in which they are ranked third behind Antigua and their host El Salvador. The group winners will progress to the next phase of the tournament to meet the likes of the USA, Panama, and Costa Rica. The Spice Boys are ranked 18th in CONCACAF. El Salvador sits in a comfortable 6th place. Grenada's most successful run at this level was back in 2004 when they played the United States, losing 3-0 away and 3-2 in the return leg at the National Stadium. The match will be broadcast live on GBN television from 10:25 p.m. St. Lucia football players staged protest action outside the headquarters of the St. Lucia Football Association on Wednesday. The athletes pounded the pavement with placards in hand as they search for answers regarding St. Lucia's participation in the World Cup qualifiers. We get more in this report.
All of us, you just make a decision on your own and say national team and the intention of getting represented.
News that St. Lucia has withdrawn from the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifiers is not sitting well with the football players. So much so that the athletes showed up at the St. Lucia Football Association's headquarters in Le Clery on Wednesday with picket signs aloft to demonstrate their disappointment. The police were summoned to the scene of the protest.
Permission to protest? Since when? Officer, that's it against the law to ask that. You cannot ask permission to protest. We all in a group. All of us. Well, we're not an organized group. Right? Organized group of footballers, right? Yes, we are all footballers.
Captain of the St. Lucia football team, Zane Pierre, shared his frustrations with reporters.
The public cares about our football. They will see and feel the frustration that we players are feeling right now. I'm sorry.
Other protesters claim officials have yet to issue formal notification of St. Lucia's withdrawal from the competition.
The Reggae Boys delegation, which arrived in Austria for a friendly against CONCACAF rivals, the USA, is now in isolation after 2 members of the traveling party returned positive COVID-19 test results.
It's been a very eventful journey leading up to the Reggae Boys trip to Austria, but after everything which happened, the last thing the delegation wanted to have was another setback. But on arrival to Austria from New York on Monday, they got the news that 2 members of the delegation returned positive COVID-19 tests. TVJ Sports understands that 1 member, who is a player, did 2 PCR tests before departing Jamaica. He was presented with a negative result from the first test, which enabled him to travel, but on reaching Austria, the other test results came back positive. As for the other person, a member of the technical staff, he did a PCR test before leaving the island. But with the result unknown at flight time, he opted to do an antigen test at the airport, which showed a negative result. Like the player, the technical staff member was told on arrival in Austria that he too had returned a positive COVID-19 test. As a result, all members of the delegation are now in isolation. The entire delegation, including the 11 UK-based players who are now in Austria, did their PCR test on Monday afternoon and are now awaiting the results before any activity can be initiated. The Reggae Boys are in Austria to batter the United States in a friendly international on Thursday. Karen Madden, TVJ Sports.
After a delay of more than a year, the Olympic torch relay ceremony for the Tokyo 2020 Games has begun. The flame started its journey from Fukushima, which was devastated by a tsunami and earthquake 10 years ago. Al Jazeera's Andrew Chappell reports.
At long last, the torch relay begins in Japan for the Olympic Games.
The torch is now ignited.
Football star Azusa Iwashimizu was the first to carry the flame. 10,000 others will take it to every part of the country. It's shining a light on the progress made since Fukushima was devastated by an earthquake, tsunami, and nuclear disaster 10 years ago. On the long road to Tokyo, it's hoped the relay will generate excitement for the Games. But many are wondering why it's still happening as the country is still battling COVID.
It would be sad to see the Olympics cancelled, but the priority now is to end the pandemic. We can still postpone it and hold the Games when it's safe again.
It could cause another pandemic here because people from all over the world are coming here.
If it is successful, it will symbolize how we overcame many difficulties.
Tatsuo Sugimoto knows what it's like to represent Japan on the world stage and compete against the world's greatest. He's worried organizers have run into too many problems to go ahead.
All factors necessary for hosting the Games are facing issues. There are sports that have held qualifying events while others haven't. When you look at domestic issues in Japan, the COVID infections are far from over and vaccination is not making progress.
If the relay goes ahead safely over the next 4 months, it'll go a long way in reassuring the public and signal the end of a dark chapter in Japan's history. Andrew Chappell, Al Jazeera.
That's sports. The probe around the globe is next. And now for the probe around the globe. Prime Minister of Antigua and Barbuda, Gaston Brown, is asking the people to get vaccinated to start the economy going again. He warns that if they don't, it will cost the country in achieving its immunity and we not be able to open borders to tourism. Details in this report.
Prime Minister Brown says the decision not to be vaccinated is one that will affect more than just the individual.
You could become a carrier of the virus and could infect others, even loved ones, causing them to be hospitalized or even to die.
The nation's leader underscores the cost to the country of not achieving herd immunity.
The reality is, if we do not achieve herd immunity, we cannot reopen our borders to cruise ships. It also means, too, that we may be sanctioned by other countries based on the high level of or prevalence of COVID. They may sanction Antigua and Barbuda and stop their citizens from flying in or to cruise our country.
The consequences, the nation's leader says, will be felt by the people.
That being the case, it means that we will have significant economic hardships. It means that people will remain unemployed for a longer period, and then they will be plunged into abject poverty. That is not the future that we want for the people of St. John City West or the people of Antigua and Barbuda.
He highlights the benefits of herd immunity, which he believes is possible within a few months.
Which will give us the opportunity to fully reopen our economy, and to put our people back to work, as well as creating additional opportunities for you.
Sherilyn Beazer reporting for ABS News.
Farmers in Ontario's Norfolk County held a tractor protest on Tuesday, saying new COVID rules restricting transportation and housing for migrant workers are threatening the 2021 growing season. More in this report.
A trail of tractors with frustrated farmers at the wheel. What's driving this? New COVID-19 rules imposed by the Haldeman Norfolk Health Unit.
The 14-day quarantine program in 2021 has become nothing short of a nightmare.
The rules state migrant workers can only travel from the airport in maximum groups of 3 instead of by the busload, and only 3 workers at most are allowed to quarantine together in a bunkhouse, no matter its size. Farmers say it's creating chaos.
The additional paperwork, having to supply backup quarantine site. We're farmers, we're marginal.
But the health unit says the rules are needed, citing 5 outbreaks in just the past couple of weeks involving migrant workers traveling on a bus from the airport in larger groups. That meant 120 workers on 22 farms were close contacts.
If we didn't act right away, we would have more farms affected, more workers affected, potentially more people getting sick.
In all, COVID has claimed 39 lives in the area, one of whom was a migrant worker. Meanwhile, farmers are calling for government action. The farmers say they want help. They want the government to be responsible for quarantining these workers in a government-run facility for up to 2 weeks. British Columbia is already doing that. We asked the Ontario and federal governments if they're planning to do something similar, but didn't get an answer. Putting safety measures in place on farms is important, says this advocate.
We know that congregate bunkhouse settings are one of the largest contributions to the rise of the pandemic around the farm worker population.
The farmers say they want to protect the workers too, but they need help.
Without our workers, we can't produce the food that Canadians need.
And time is of the essence with the growing season just beginning. Magda Gebrselassie, CBC News, Simcoe.
Stay with us for a recap of the headlines. Recapping the headlines, young man hospitalized after stabbing incident in Grenville. The Ministry of Health embarks on public health outreach program within communities. Education Minister expresses difficulty accepting deliberate rejection of principled leadership. Duty President Marvin Ondal joined us with his response. In tonight's GBN Health, we look back on the anniversary of COVID-19 in Grenada and its impacts. And around the globe, Antigua and Barbuda Prime Minister urges citizens to get vaccinated, and Ontario migrant farmers protesting new COVID-19 rules. In sports, Grenada squares off with El Salvador in CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers from 10:25 tonight. And St. Lucia football players stage protest action over their failure to participate in the World Cup qualifiers. If you missed any part of this newscast, a repeat of it will be broadcast at 10 o'clock tonight. Continue to follow us online at gbn.gd or on GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel for these and other top stories. I'm Beverly Telesford. That's news. Good night.